What is going on, FG fam? Welcome to another episode of the Miami Marlins franchise here on MLB The Show 21. And we're going to get through quite a bit today in this video because I am looking to accelerate this series, quite honest with you. Charles Sanderson here is the guy we're going to offer this deal to. Give me like $4.5 million. We need a hitting coach. So with Charles Sanderson as our hitting coach, it looks like Killian Hooley, what a name, is going to be the guy that we will offer the farm director deal to, and that should take care of everything we need in the coaching, provided that they all sign. Free agents, this is going to be tricky. I would love to keep all of these guys, to be completely honest with you. Kyle Tucker, I don't know if we'll be able to. 19.1 a year doesn't seem all that bad. I'm going to offer him less, obviously. All right, so Kyle Tucker, we are going to offer $82.5 million for 5 years. We'll see if that's enough to keep him. Now, Jesus Luzardo is a guy that's going to command a lot of money on the open market. I'm going to try to steal him for a team-friendly deal of $20 million a year with a player option. To be honest with you, at $5.8 million a year, Randy Dobnak's probably worth that amount of money, so let's go ahead and offer him that. Jonathan Hernandez at $6.8 million a year, very young, very up and coming. We may offer him actually some more years. I'm willing to throw 7 years at him and maybe take some of this money off a little bit. There we go. Let's do that. We get Charles Sanderson to accept the hitting coach offer. Cool. Killian Hooley accepts a raise offer as an actual manager, so he's not going to be our farm director. We're going to have to find a new guy. We're going to try to outbid the Phillies here for Pedro McLeod. I don't want the Phillies winning this guy. We are going to pump some money into him, and there we go. We take the lead. But McLeod accepts the Angels offer as a farm director, so now we need a new guy. John Scott is about the best one I can see fitting us, so let's give him $3.5 million over 3. All right, so we still have $20 million in available budget. It looks like Kyle Tucker did accept his $16.5 million a year. Randy Dobnak took his $5.8 million a year. And that leaves us with Luzardo and Hernandez, who are looking for more cash. John Scott accepts our offer as farm director, so that's a good sign. And as we roll into free agency, we see that Jesus Luzardo is sitting there, and that's not exactly ideal for us. We do have guys like Griffin Canning, Jose Urquidy, Dustin May, guys we can easily replace him with, but I loved what Luzardo brought to the table last year. Looking through this free agency class, it's absolutely loaded. There are 690 overall plus pitchers. There's relievers that can help your team out. We're trying to get Hernandez back. There's a few closers here who could really shut the door down. Catchers are plentiful. Couple of first basemen, not a lot, but there usually isn't. Second baseman, you got Albies, Herner, Hira, all these great ones. Kevin Biggio as well. Third base, you got Rendon and Vladdy Jr. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Dansby Swanson, Tommy Edmond, J.P. Crawford all out there at shortstop. Yordan Alvarez is available in left field. Trent Grisham and Luis Robert, as well as Kyle Lewis, all available out in center field. Right field, probably the weakest, but Phillip Ervin, that is a guy for sure that you can pick up and help your team. So we'll see what offers we can make. We don't really have a lot of money right now. We might have to make some moves. Kyle Lewis, I believe, will give us a great all-around center fielder and for a way cheaper price tag than Mike Trout. So I'm hoping maybe we can bring in Kyle Lewis and then we might just have to ship off Mike Trout. The experiment hasn't been working. I want to get him a ring, but I'm only going to ship Mike Trout if we can get Kyle Lewis in here. Another guy we're going to lowball a little bit here is Vladdy Jr. That's a guy I'm willing to put a 15-year contract up against here. He would be a hell of a star player at that corner infield position, and we'll see if he'll accept. If we can get Jared Walsh, who can pretty much do everything Bobby Bradley can do for cheaper, I'm all for it, so let's see if that's possible. I'm going to see what Luzardo does before I go offering other pitchers, because he really is the one I would rather have. So Jonathan Hernandez does sign back with the squad, and now that means that we can't afford any of the offers that we put on the table, so we've got a lot of work to do here. Unfortunately, when it boils right down to it, we are going to have to find cheaper options in our bullpen, and we're just going to load up on selling all of our relievers right now. That's $18.8 million coming off the books for $620K to the Pirates for Brett Beatty and Animal Jaqueminon. We're going to take that deal, especially since Jaqueminon is a user prospect. Offering him a nice hefty 10-year deal has gotten Jesus Luzardo's yearly total to $18.1 million a year, and I'd like to keep him for that. I've decided that Griffin Canning at $14.6 million a year, even over 10 years, is pretty good for us, so we are going to offer this deal to Griffin Canning, and potentially Severino could be on the move with that huge contract. Dansby Swanson signs with the Mariners. Big signing for them, 7 years, $217 million. Ozzy Albies will be going to the Chicago White Sox. Good, get him the hell out of Atlanta and away from us. Yordan Alvarez will be a Tampa Bay Ray on an 8-year, $248 million deal. Griffin Canning accepts the Angels' offer of $110 million over 5 years, so oh well. Vladdy Jr. signs with us, and that's kind of what I was afraid of. He was the one I probably wanted the least, just because we do have Spencer Torkelson, and Torkelson's very cheap, so I got to figure something out. Yeah, not to be a bit of a cheater or anything, but there's just no way I can fit Vladdy in our plans for this season, so we're going to trade him to the Minnesota Twins, get him the hell out of the National League over here, and send him to the AL, bring in a couple of prospects that we're probably not even going to use. Sean Murphy going to sign a 6-year deal with the Brew Crew, a $20 million a year deal. Aaron Sleggers, a relief pitcher, will sign a deal with the San Francisco Giants for 3 years. Jose Urquidy will join the Angels as well, so a couple of big free agent signings for the Angels. James Karinchak going to the Brewers, so there you go. So Luzardo accepts his deal, and now we have $17 million to play with at the moment. Luzardo for $13.3 million is a great deal. Javi Baez's deal coming up at the end of the year, and then of course we have all of these guys signed, and then we have a bunch of contract renewables that we need to bring to the forefront, and a couple of arbitration guys, obviously, that we're going to have to deal with at some point. I don't know if there's any more moves to be made here. We'll have to see. So the issue isn't really money, but roster size as to why we can't bring Kyle Lewis in right now. So why not go ahead and trade a bunch of dumpy prospects for a great one in Adam Malone? Remember when he was drafted? Let's add him to our stable of pitchers. Will Smith, another guy signing with the Brew Crew. 5-year deal, $75 million. Brew Crew shelling out that cash right now. Lucas Sims is going to sign with the Philadelphia Phillies, somebody we had at the very start of this franchise. Brady Singer becomes a Minnesota Twin. At least he didn't sign in the National League, and at least he's not in our division. Trent Grisham, so a big center fielder going to the Phillies. He'll be Kyle Lewis's replacement over there. Sir Anthony Dominguez signs with the Cubs. That's a really good bullpen arm for them. Dylan Cease will become a New York Met. Not the greatest guy they could have brought in at starting pitcher, but their starting pitcher stable's already way too good. Zach Gallen will sign with the Houston the Astros. Zach Plesac becomes a Colorado Rocky. Josh Taylor becomes a White Sox. Joey Lucchesi is going to sign with the Cleveland Indians. And we get Kyle Lewis. Let's go. There we go. We brought him in for $13.5 million a year. Unfortunately, that means we may need to shop Mike Trout. Aaron Savale will sign with the Braves, so another pitcher we're going to have to contend with in our own division. So we have $4.41 million available in the budget. That's what we're going to have to work with here to sign the rest of our players. Tommy Edmonds signing with the Boston Red Sox. That's a pretty lucrative deal for him. We are sadly going to give Ash Laser maybe a chance to start a lot quicker. He's 25 years old already, so we are going to trade him away, and we're going to bring in a different user in Caden Idleman. Can never have too many of these closers. I think we're going to move Muller to an actual reliever. He hasn't been a great closer for us, and we're going to give somebody else a shot. All right, so I tried. There's not much really that we can get for these guys. They're all pretty old, and they've been in our system for a while, so we're going to go after Angelo Castillo here to just dump some players off. It is time to offer arbitration to people, and Max Meyer is clearly going to get a lot of money here. I'm going to offer him 2.5. Hopefully they'll agree with us there. Then we have Nicolas Boucher. I don't think he deserves a lot, but he's going to get more than this, so I'll offer him $400K. Probably not going to work. Garrett Crochet is probably going to make north of this, but we're going to offer him $4 million. And then a catcher, Stevenson's probably going to make about $4 million, maybe even more, so we'll offer him that. Bobby Bradley probably going to be around that $3 million range. They're probably going to side with him. He's probably going to make more. Jared Trout, he didn't even start for us last year. I'd like to pay less than $3 million. I don't think it's actually going to happen. Monty Harrison was playing in the minors, so I'm hoping they don't want more than $400K for him. And then JJ Bleday, we've been getting away with him being super cheap. I'm going to offer super cheap, but they're going to side with him. We know that already. Michael Fulmer will sign with the Houston Astros, so they get another really good starting pitcher. Nico Herner signs with the Red Sox. Jared Walsh will become a Kansas City Royal. Austin Gomber to the Rays. Miguel Sano becomes a San Francisco Giant. The prospects of getting anything that's going to help us right now for Mike Trout are very thin. Look at this. Asa Lacy's 26 years old already, and the Orioles won't even give him up for Mike Trout. So the best deal that I've seen we can make, and this is not something I'm going to be proud of, but we're going to do it anyways, is getting German Marquez from the Houston Astros. I know he's 31 years old already, but he is relatively cheap with a $13.9 million deal here, and that is definitely something we'll be able to afford. He obviously throws really hard, and his walks per 9 are very good for simulation because, as you'll see, and as I've said, the prospects of this series are going to change drastically. We also have Andres Del Villar. They won't give him back to us, though. That would have been a really nice get, and I would have liked to bring him back in. They would have given us that. That's not something. Well, we can get an 18-year-old third baseman. That's, something. So I guess we'll take that for that trade. That's about all we can really do. So, bye, Trout. It was great having you here. Kevin Biggio will be going to the Padres, and the NL gets another star. There it is, the Mike Trout trade. Not something I'm proud of, not something I wanted to do, but something we had to do because we couldn't afford to bring in our own players again. Win Rios, third base, he will be going to the Brewers. They're really spending money. Louis Robert will be the one going to the Orioles. They made a little bit of a bid to get Mike Trout, but it wasn't good enough for me. Keston Hiura going to the Astros, and they continue a really big offseason. The problem is they don't have much pitching now that we've taken Marquez. Nick Senzel will become a Dodger now. Luisa Reyes coming to our division with the Phillies. Rougned Odor will be going to the Rays. They've made a couple of signings. Yasmani Grandal will be a Ranger. Jared Kelenic gets traded to the Padres from the Mariners. for a couple of decent players right there. Robert Hassel and Tanner Scott. That's a pretty good haul. JP Crawford signing with the Astros. Matthew Thompson gets moved. That is a guy that I wanted from the White Sox. Asa Lacy is a guy that I wanted from the Orioles, but they weren't willing to give up any of that for Mike Trout. So interesting deal there for sure. All right, it's Rule 5 draft time. Let's head in and see if any of our guys get taken. Jeff McNeil gets traded to the Orioles, so the Orioles making a couple of moves now, so the Red Sox going to get Kyle Schwarber and Brent Honeywell for that. All right, let's see what we got in the Rule 5 draft. Peter Welch is the first pick in the Rule 5 draft. He, of course, from our squad. I believe Gonzalez is also from our squad, so he goes as well. Let's take a look. So, not Andy Yerzy. Yeah, definitely Peter Welch was our man. He is now gone. I'm pissed off about that. Jacob Gonzalez was our guy as well. He will now be an Angel. I'm not too mad about it, though. Everson Pereira, I recognize the name. I don't know that he was on our squad. Maybe he was. I could be wrong. But all in all, pretty bad for us. We lose a couple of really good prospects. Corey Seager getting traded to the Braves from the Phillies. An in-division trade. Freddie Freeman and Lance McCullers to the Phillies. That is going to be so weird to see Freeman in a Philly uniform. Liam Hendricks signing with the Braves. They continue to make some moves. Looking to see if there's any moves we can potentially make. And we could maybe get Anthony Rendon. I don't know that we particularly need to do it, but if he's still there in a couple of weeks, we might make a run at him. We do have $22 million. He's still available, and it's February 1st, so I think I'm going to put an offer on Rendon, see what happens. All right, arbitration hearing for Garrett Crochet. He wins it, $5.2 million. Bobby Bradley wins his arbitration as well. He will get $3.4 million. Max Meyer also winning his for $3.7 million. Anthony Rendon does sign with us. We gave him a one-year deal so that he can go into free agency and perhaps make some money next year. He's taken $7 million for this year. He could be a good bench bat for us for sure. The game threw a hissy fit and said, hey, you got too many guys on your 40-man. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and take Ronnie Mauricio from the Mets. I mean, why not? All the game seems to want to offer right now is shortstops, so give them to me. Ronnie Mauricio was unfortunately on the 40-man, so I'm hoping these guys we're getting from the Cardinals aren't. Alexis Sanchez was on our 40-man, and unfortunately, he's just not going to make it ever to the majors. He kind of had his little flash in the pan, so we're going to pass him through waivers. He's probably not going to pass through, though. And indeed, Frederick Good is not on the 40-man, so we'll keep him there. That'll be perfect. Our 40-man roster now consists of 39 players, so we're in good shape. Arbitration for Monty Harrison. They signed with Monty Harrison. He's going to be making over $1 million. He's already pretty old. He's 29 years old. He never made it to the majors with us, so we might look to deal him. AJ Bleday will make $1.3 million, but he's worth it. Our budget's suddenly looking kind of dumpy, and we are going to dump some money off. We're also going to get players where we need to fit them. Here's a big old money dump. Here's a big old age dump. Like to bring in another first baseman, so we will make a flip right here. I think we're going to give up the 57 overall, though, because I'll find somebody else I'd rather give up, which probably going to end up being one of these 60 overalls. They're going to be interested. Oh, no, Howard Bird. He's 30 years old. We'll definitely do that deal. Yes. Arbitration for Tyler Stevenson. He's making $4.8 million. Arbitration for Boucher. He's going to make $1.4 million. Good for him. And Jared Trout will make $3.9. So we lost all these arbitrations. We are $9 million over budget right now, and it is due to the arbitration contracts that were absolutely just out of this world huge. We have Max Meyer and Jesus Luzardo with Herman Marquez. We are going to have two younger pitchers because I think Severino might have to go. We're going to have to take a look at that. That is definitely going to be an issue because we need the relief pitchers, and not a lot of these other guys are really getting overpaid. Glaber, maybe. But you know what? I think we can free up money in Javi Baez because we could just use Jared Trout full time. I love Baez, but at this point, not a need for us. We were getting some really bad offers on Baez, so he's going to go to the Angels for 3 prospects. That's the deal we're going to have to make here to save some money. We'll see how many contracts we can renew for $1.3 million. All right, we were able to renew every contract we needed to, and unfortunately, it came at the expense of Javi Baez. And here we are in spring training. I don't know what they're going to do with these lineups. I really don't care. We're going to take a look at how everybody does, obviously. Ooh, a scout retirement? I have never seen that in this game. I guess I've never really gotten this deep into a franchise, so we lost a scout. Get through spring training here. Let's see how the guys do. Hopefully nobody gets like ridiculously hurt. Please, fingers crossed. We don't need anybody injured going into the season. Spring training's come to an end. We went 13-11 in spring training. Let's see the stats, because some of this is really going to decide some things. So Torkelson played okay. Torres played okay. Soto played great. Tucker played really good. Might be worthy. Could do better. Riley Green actually played really good. So did Jared Trout. Good to see. Kyle Lewis looking good already. Bobby Bradley hit 8 dingers in spring training. Holy hell. Noelvi Marte played well. Lots of guys playing well. Sterling Olander. Severino, you got to do better than a 6.28. Max Myers just always incredible. Caden Eidelman pitched terribly. Sorry, Caden, if you're watching. You pitched like garbage. What else we got here? Joe Hagan pitched really well. He just won the closer job. So Joe Hagan will close for us. How was Muller in the pen? Not bad, actually. He could be worse. All right, we're going to make this trade because DL Hall has no more minor league options, so it is time for his time with the squad to come to an end. Alexis Sanchez just isn't getting any better, and John Conrath is completely expendable, and we're getting 3 positions that are not starting pitcher, which was the key to me making a deal here. I'm going to take a chance on this trade. I don't know if these guys are going to be MLB dudes or what, but we can't send down any of the 3 guys here, Ben Guillen, Vesperis, or Riley Green, so it is time to let them go. Joe Murray could get sent down to AAA, so that's good news. And it looks like Cavacao can get sent down as well, so that's going to be perfect. There we go. We got 26-26. We just need to bring the AA down. All right, it appears that we've gotten it done. We'll see how we end up going into the season here. We do have somebody on waivers, which kind of sucks, but it is time to go to the regular season and see what's up with this Marlins team this year. All right, guys, our Marlins open the season at home against the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, I did say that this series is going to change. We got through the offseason in this video. There will likely be an offseason video and then the entire season in one other video. So that's probably how we're going to go through the rest of this series until we can actually win something, and then we'll probably do some season simulations to see how our dudes end up, if anybody makes the Hall of Fame that maybe we have drafted. It's tough to make the Hall of Fame in this game, but we'll have to see how it goes. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Please make sure you drop a like. Do you like the new setup? Do you like the live comm with me actually talking to you here on camera? Let me know what you think of the border on the outside. I mean, I just kind of used what was in my OBS for my Twitch streams. If you're not in my Twitch streams, make sure you go in the description, click that link, and go follow over there on the Twitch. Come hang out with us over there. It's always a great time. This is exactly the setup you'll see. Go down in the description as well and hit that link to the Discord. Come on in and join. Come join the community. Come talk sports. That's what we do there. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this little thing. This is what we're going to be doing now for... This is how we're going to be making videos from now on, just because it's easier for me to make them and I can get them out and still do all of the other endeavors that I want to do. So that's what makes it easy for me to continue doing sports content. I got to change things up. It gets to be a little too monotonous doing the same thing over and over again. Again, FG fam, I really appreciate you. If you want to see some more franchise, now's the time to click to see some more franchise.